have something to prop your sit bones up if you have a bolster or a blanket, so that you get a little more height through the spine and a little more releasing through the hips. And then we're going to begin in a variation of Siddhasana, which is to take one heel as close to the perineum as possible, and then tuck the other toes between the calf and thigh. So if that's not comfortable, you can just sit in cross-legged pose, Sukhasana. Otherwise, go ahead and give this a try. We'll stay in this side for a few moments, and then we'll switch so that we have balance on both. Have a tall spine, relaxed body, close your eyes. And just take a moment here to settle in, to anchor through the sit bones and feel a grounding connection to the earth, the pull of gravity, and that stability. At the same time, there's that sense of being grounded. Let the spine, upper spine particularly, feel light and spacious. And feel the musculature soften, maintaining the height of the spine, but relaxing any areas of chronic tension, particularly in the neck and shoulders and upper back and face. And as you draw the chin in very slightly, lift through the back of the skull and feel that elongates the back of the neck. And then turn your attention to your breath and just begin to observe the rise and fall of the abdomen. So we'll do a few rounds here of smooth diaphragmatic breathing. Inhale, comes in and down, belly swells. Exhale, belly contracts, pushing the breath out. Keep relaxing, allowing that breath to become more and more organic, smooth. And when we get to a point of smooth breathing, it's a cue for our nervous system to relax. Now we're watching that belly expand on inhale and contract on exhale, but what if you add in the pelvic floor? So on the inhale, as the belly swells, softening the pelvic floor to create a little more room. And then on the exhalation, as the abdomen contracts, also lifting, consciously lifting the pelvic floor. And just notice what difference it makes. As our awareness stays steeped in that lower portion of the torso, feeling again that grounding energy, stabilizing energy. And now that you've established this pattern of belly and pelvic floor breathing, let's increase the length of the breath. So as you breathe in, belly swells, we make room in the pelvic floor, but then we really feel that the rib cage expands and the chest opens. We're getting that full, complete breath. And then on the exhalation, again, there's that lifting of the pelvic floor, belly contracting, rib cage softening, and chest relaxing. So inhaling, pelvic floor, belly, open up, create room for breath, and then breath moves into rib cage and chest. Exhaling, concentration at the pelvic floor and abdomen first, and then rib cage will squeeze closer together and chest will soften. Please continue this. Still smooth breathing, no pauses. And then begin to lengthen the exhale by 1 count. So count your next inhale. And whatever that count is, let the exhale be 1 count longer. So we're just going to take a little more time in that beginning portion of lifting the pelvic floor and contracting the abdomen and just slowing the process down. Make sure on inhalation that you fully relax the pelvic floor. And then extend the exhale breath by 1 more count. So say you were breathing in for a count of 5, you'll now exhale for 7. And then 1 more count. Keep relaxing, especially on exhalation. Take your time. And you can continue to add in 1 more count to the exhalation until you get to what is called a 1 to 2 breath. In other words, if you were breathing in for 5, your exhale would reach 10. Or if you're breathing in for 4, your exhale would reach 8. Just 1 more there. And then once again, relax all effort. And keeping your eyes closed if you can, we'll just switch the position of the legs. So taking the opposite foot in first and then tucking the other foot between the calf and thigh. And then just sit in awareness, just observe how the body and mind feel from that Vinyasa breathing. That when we're just in a seated position, it's easier to concentrate on the breath, but when we get into asana, it becomes a little bit more challenging. So what we do to shift the Vinyasa breathing is to have it be that the exhale is just 2 counts longer than the inhale. So once we get into practice, we'll shift into that, except for on special occasions. But part of the value of that breath is this deep sense of calm and relaxation and the quality of letting go, of releasing. And we're working today with forward bending. So we're going to open up the back side of the body, that postural chain, down into the legs and hamstrings. And this really has a quality or essence of letting go, of releasing. And as we work with that surrender, I want to think of what in our lives maybe we're holding on to that might be causing some of that physical tension. Some things maybe that we're very clear that we need to release, and other things that maybe is just sitting in the background. And ask that those things come forward so that we have more clarity around them. So we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Let the thumbs touch the sternum and bow the head. And just go inward for a moment here into your heart. Just listening for what it is that you could let go of. I was having a conversation recently with someone who said, I'm just carrying too many bags. So are there too many bags that you're carrying? Too many heavy items in your backpack? And what thing maybe you like doing even, but it's causing so much stress just to maintain that? And can you let it go? And this can be physical, mental, or emotional. You know, physical, there's obvious things that are physical, but mental, maybe it's perfectionism. Maybe that's robbing you of some joy and some time and some peace. So whatever it is, place it in your heart. Surround it with unconditional love and forgiveness. And then we'll begin the practice with the chant of Om 3 times. So take a deep inhale in, fill all the way into that pelvic floor. And a long exhale out, lifting from the pelvic floor first. Good, another deep inhale in. Just lower your chin to your chest, release your hands, and take a moment to blink your eyes, open back into the room. Good. We'll release the legs here and begin in tabletop position. So Chakravarkrasana, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet press firmly into the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, and look up. As you exhale, draw your navel to the spine, round the back, take the sit bones to the heels, child's pose. Inhale again. Heart expands forward. Sit bones lift. Now as you pull the navel in, around the back, bend the elbows slightly and hug them towards the midline, like you're squeezing a block between the arms. It'll widen the upper back.
Good. Now with that breath, inhaling for your count.
And then exhaling 2 counts longer. So take your time to really lift the pelvic floor, the navel, slowing the breath down as you go back.
Good. A few more rounds like this, please, with your breath.
Ujjayi breathing down into that lower region first.
Good. And then inhale, one more.
And exhale to child's pose. And we'll bring the knees together this time as we move into child's pose. Navel to spine.
So upper back is more in a flexion state than an extension state. And work your arms so that they come forward, elbows lifting off the ground. Press into the palms, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Walk your hands to the right side. Press your left sit bone away, bow the rib cage. Breathe deeply here. Feel the compression of the abdomen against the thighs. And as you're breathing into the pelvic floor and belly first, because there's compression there, that forces the pressure to go more towards the back side of the body. And then move over to the other side and do the same thing. So over to the left, bow the right rib cage, breathe here. Keep relaxing the tops of your shoulders. And then come back to center, hands under the shoulders, roll yourself up to sitting on your heels, Vajrasana.
Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale all the breath out. As you do, make fists with your hands, bring them into your core, and forward fold over your fists.
With the breath held out, you're going to rotate the wrists, making subtle movements of massage there in the internal organs.
And then when you need to breathe in, come back into a seated position. Exhale here. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, make fists with your hands. Let them move into the abdomen. With the breath held out,
forward fold, and you're going to rotate those wrists into the core, breaking up any tension, any areas of stagnation.
As soon as you need to breathe in, come back to sitting on your heels and take an exhale here. Again, inhale. Exhale.
Forward fold. Hold the breath out. Rotate those wrists. Each time, hopefully getting a little more space, feeling a little more comfortable.
Inhale when you need to. And exhale. Just one more here on your own, please. Just rest for a moment. Come back into tabletop position. Let the left arm open up to the left for just a brief moment here. And then left arm goes through the hole between the shoulder and the thigh. Right hand at a 90-degree angle, push into the floor and draw the belly button back towards the back body. Now head and neck is relaxed, so get the cheek to soften into the floor and just breathe into the opening in the upper back. So an area where we tend to hold a lot of tension.
Each exhalation takes the navel and pelvic floor deeply in and up. Remember, exhales 2 counts longer than the inhale. One more breath here. And then unwind, let the left arm go back up in the air. And then tabletop position. Other side. Right arm up. Exhale, right arm through that hole. Take your time to be mindful. Gently resting the right shoulder on the earth. Left hand at a 90-degree angle. Actively push the floor away from you. Relax your head and neck. Keep leveling out the knees and feet and hips. And then gently come back up into tabletop. Briefly open the arm. And then exhale to tabletop position. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale, lift heart, lift sit bones, look up. And exhale, tuck the toes for downward facing dog. And now in down dog, we can pedal the feet a little bit here. So if you want to bend one knee and press the other heel down. And then bend the other knee and press the other heel down. And just move back and forth a few times, opening up the backs of the legs. So when we're talking about this forward bending category, we're really more concerned about what's happening in the spine. But of course, the whole body is connected, so the legs and feet are very much a part of that, and that's often where we tend to feel the tension all the way from the hamstrings down into the calves and maybe even into the heels. So now find your feet hip distance apart, toes turned in slightly, heels out. Roll your inner thighs in and back. Allow the sit bones to lift and spread. And as you ground more and more weight into the base of the body, roll the shoulder heads away from the ears, squeeze the inner elbows toward one another, and press firmly through the web of the index and thumb. Head and neck is relaxed. Each exhalation, the gravity will help to take the pelvic floor and navel in and up even deeper. So that same emptying out sensation that you had, see if you can bring that back in. Good, and then walk your hands back just 6 inches. Stay there and breathe. Feel the weight into the base of the body. Maybe the heels are completely grounded, maybe not. And then walk your hands back another 6 inches and stay. And the more weight you can put into the legs and feet, the more you make them active, the lighter the upper body's going to get. You can really just hang there. And then another 6. Even more weight into the legs and feet, feeling that opening in the back body. And then another 6. If you feel like you need a micro bend in your knee, please take that. And another 6, almost to the feet. And then finally, the last 6. And once we get to this last, where we've got the fingertips lined up the toes, we'll release the hands and wrap them around either elbow so that there's some traction and heaviness in that upper body. If you need that micro bend in the knee, please take it. And we're going to just get really heavy here through the upper body and work on that breath. So on your inhalation, counting the breath, exhale 2 counts longer. And then see if you, with each breath that follows, you can increase it by 1 until you get to that true 1 to 2 breath. So on that exhalation, really feeling a sense of surrender, of letting go. Slow the breath down. Think of the body as sighing with each exhalation. One more. Good. And then just notice, are you a little closer towards your feet when you place your hands back down? And then you can either have your hands on your shins or hook your index middle thumb around your big toe. Inhale, pull away to monkey pose. Feel that extension. Exhale the navel deeply into the body. Bend the elbows out wide or slide the hands back down the shins. And then inhale, hands to hips. Come halfway up. Let the blood level out. So nice flat spine here. Heart is open. We want to make sure nobody feels lightheaded when they come up from a long forward fold, maybe 3/4 of the way now. And then eventually all the way into standing mountain pose. Arms by your side. Just notice all the warmth and sensation along the back side of the body. Okay, so we're going to do Sun Salutation A. Stepping to the front of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Big toes touching, space between the heels. So either one, hands together in front of the heart center. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, navel to spine, forward fold. Inhale, halfway monkey. Hands on the shins or floor, crown away from the sit bones. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank. First round, we're going to bring knees to floor. Squeeze the elbows tight into the side as the belly comes down, tops of the feet ground. Inhale, halfway up for cobra. Exhale, navel up and back for downward facing dog. 5 full breaths here in down dog. Working on that breathing of inhaling down, opening, softening pelvic floor, expanding belly, ribs, chest. And exhale, lifting from the pelvic floor, belly, ribs, chest. Feeling breath getting all the way to the very base of the spine. One more. And rise onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or lightly hop your feet forward. Inhale right into monkey pose. So hands on shin or floor. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out wide as you lift and rise, flat back. And then exhale, hands to the heart, your way. Either down the center line or to your sides. Let's do that again. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Inhale, monkey pose. Heart extends away from the pubic bone. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. Now this time, if you want to leave the knees lifted for chaturanga, go ahead. Otherwise, you can bring them down. If the knees stay down, it's cobra. If they're up, it's up dog. And then exhale, navel up and back. Downward facing dog. Again, 5 full breaths. Keep hollowing out that belly. Exhale is still 2 counts longer than the inhale. V-Samavriti. Keep feeling that sense of each exhale is an opportunity to let go, to release. And sometimes you don't even have to know what it is. You can just let the stress go, whatever you're gripping or holding on to. One more. And then rise onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale and forward fold, navel to spine. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale. Perfectly linking that breath with the movement. Remember, each exhale is a little slower. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. 5 breaths. And when you're there for 5 breaths, it really gives you an opportunity to look around inside and notice, where are those areas that I'm gripping? Areas that are chronically contracted, or even areas that are calling out for some attention. One more here. Come onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, look at the hands. Step or lightly hop forward. Inhale to monkey, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. We'll just do one more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, step or hop back to plank. Chaturanga your way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, down dog. 5 breaths. Make sure you're not sinking in the joints, but lifting up out of them, finding those grounding points through the legs and feet for a sense of lightness. One more here. And then balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale to monkey, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach. And exhale, hands to heart. And then just be there in your mountain pose and observe those 4 sun salutations and just the difference you feel in the body and the mind. They don't take that much time, and it's something that we can do every day. In fact, that was part of how it was practiced for thousands of years. It would be to the rising sun as a way of giving gratitude and thanks. Last breath here. Return back to the breathing we were doing, so make sure you can get the breath all the way down. Okay. So still at the front of your mat, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left leg back and lower the knee down. If you need extra padding, flip your mat over. Fingers at a finger stand, we're gonna stay low. Inhale, lean into your front leg. Feel that opening, not just from the hip, but also the calf. And then flex your right foot and sit back on your left heel. So kind of a half splits here. Again, inhale, come forward, walk the hands forward, lean into that front. Exhale, flex the right foot, lean back into the hips. Good, keep going with your breath, inhaling, exhaling. Remember, we're gonna stay back a little longer, just so that we get a longer exhale. Pull the pinky toe side of your foot back. 2 more. Notice that through repetition, the body becomes familiar with the movement, and we find more space opening up.
Then inhale, come back into low lunge position. Lift the torso, right hand to the thigh. Inhale the left arm up, and then exhale, take the left elbow on top of the thigh. Fist with the bottom hand, cup with the top, and rotate the navel to the right. So staying here nice and strong, navel pulls towards the back body, rotate to the right. If you'd like to go deeper, tuck your back toes under and straighten that back leg. So a little more strength, but make sure if you're going into that stronger variation that you're still able to breathe. All the way down to the pelvic floor. As pelvic floor and navel lift up and remove space, make space, the navel gets to move deeper to the right. One more here. Now, fingertips to the floor. If you need that padding under your knee again, please bring the mat back down. Take your hands on the inside of the right foot, and now open up that foot like the page of a book, rolling to its outer edge, and let the right knee open. The left hand, we're going to plant that into the floor and take the right hand to the knee and just gently push that knee open. No extra pressure. It's very subtle and gentle. Be mindful. But we're getting into that hip a little bit more. Long exhales. Let go of whatever tension's stored there in the hip. Navel rotates slightly to the right, chest feels open, shoulders are relaxed. Good, then gently place that foot back down, fingers on either side of the foot, straighten the back leg, and you're going to step the back foot up so it's a slightly shorter stance, so about 3.5 feet. Heel to heel alignment, it's a little bit longer than a typical stance for a pyramid, but that's okay. Back toes angled towards the upper left corner of the mat. Hands on either side of the front foot, and if you want, use your blocks to bring the floor up to you. We're going to keep this front leg straight, but a micro bend in the knee is perfectly fine. Anchor firmly into the outside edge of the back heel. Fingers in a finger stand. As you inhale, lift your chest away from your thighs so it feels like that monkey pose, and then exhale and melt over the leg. And we're going to do that 2 more times just to get a little more space. So inhale, lift the chest away. Exhale, melt further over that front leg. One more. Inhale away. As much space between the sternum and pubic bone as you can. And then exhale, and now we're going to stay. So hands can just stay there. Head and neck is relaxed. Breathe deeply. Watch the tendency to start settling into the hips and into the joints. Push firmly into the legs so that there's a lightness that comes into the upper spine. Head and neck is relaxed. Keep pushing your back heel away. And move into that Vinyasa so that each exhale gets longer and longer until you get to a true 1 to 2 breath. As you extend the exhale, you may notice those layers just peeling away. One more. And then we're going to walk our hands toward our left foot, turning the right toes in. So you'll come into foot spreading posture. Toes in slightly, heels out, fingertips lined up with the toes. Inhale, extend the heart first, and then exhale and fold deeply over the legs. Now you want to really press to the outside edges of the feet for stability. Feel that outer leg line opening up. And then let the upper body really hinge from the hips. So in other words, they're just like hanging from the stability in the legs and feet.
And we have a tendency to sink in our heels, so come forward just a little bit more in the balls of the feet. Let the hips lift a little higher. And just breathe here. Elbows are bent, hands are flat. Draw a little bit more of the crown of the head towards the earth. Notice how gravity helps lift the pelvic floor and core. The only way to do it is really through surrender here. Last two. Keep going through those layers. And then walk your hands forward, extend your spine for a moment in monkey pose, activate the back body. Left foot, pivot on the ball of your right, and flip your mat over. Lean into your left foot, opening up the right, and then sit back on the right heel and flex your left. Good. So we'll do 5 of those. Inhale, lean into your left knee. Exhale, sit back on your right foot. Each time you come forward, feel that willingness to let go wherever it's tight. And as you go back, surrender. 2 more. And you're going to come back into that low lunge position. Torso lifts, left hand to thigh. Inhale the right arm up, elongate the side body, and then take the elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Fist with your bottom hand, cup with your top, and rotate your navel to the left. And really take the time to set it up properly so that you feel stable. The navel's drawing in toward the back body on exhalation and rotating deeper to the left. And then if you're feeling comfortable, tuck those back toes under and straighten the back leg. And remember, we don't want to sink into the joints. We want to feel buoyancy or lightness in that pelvic floor. So as you press down into the earth and connect to that grounding energy, you'll feel a lightness that comes in where it gives you more room to rotate. Keep breathing, long exhales. Use those long exhales to really twist. One more. And then fingertips come down. If you need that extra padding under your knee, please take it again. Hands on the inside of the leg. Now open up that left foot like a book. So you're rolling to its outside edge. Plant the right hand down. Left hand goes to the knee. And now you're just going to gently push that knee open. Navel rotates now slightly to the left. Chest is open. Breathe here. So there's this balance element to this. There's the strength element and the letting go. So keep tapping into the breath, particularly the exhale for the letting go. Good, one more here. And then gently unwind, let that foot come flat. Tuck your back toes under, and then you're gonna step your back foot forward a little bit. So it's about a 3.5 foot stance. Heel to heel alignment. Back toes pointing towards the upper right corner of the mat. Fingers in a finger stand. Inhale your chest forward, and exhale, melt over the leg. So hips are squared here. Inhale, keep lifting the chest away while you pull the left hip back, bring the right hip around. Exhale, melt into that space. One more, inhale. Anchor into the back heel. Exhale. As you stay here, concentrate on the breathing, extending the exhale breath by one count till you get to that true Vinyasa. And even though we're not doing those sthithis anymore where we actively lift the chest away, you might still feel that with the breath, that on the inhale, as the breath reaches into the pelvic floor, there's a natural lengthening of the spine. And as you exhale and the abdomen and pelvic floor pull in and up, there's a natural softening. Those layers release and let go. Imagine squeezing a block between the inner thighs for more stability. Good. Last one here. And then we're going to stay low. Walk towards the center of our mat, turning the toes in, coming into that wide foot spreading again. Fingers in a finger stand. Inhale, the heart forward. Extend. Get as long as you can through the spine. Push into the feet. And then exhale, melt into that space. Fingertips lined up with the toes. Draw the crown of the head towards the earth. Again, your anchor point here is to the outside edges of your feet. Make sure you don't sink in the heels. And just letting that whole back line open up. Give in through gravity. Gravity is going to take that heavy head and draw it towards the earth. Let the shoulders pull slightly away from the ears so you feel even more length in the neck. Now turn your right toes out so they angle towards the right side of your mat, and walk your hands on that inner leg and just stretch to the inner thigh of the left. And then come back to center. Turn the toes in, turn your left toes out. Those toes are angled, and you're going to lean into that knee, opening up the inside of the right leg. And then gently come back. Heel toe in a little bit so you feel more stable. Hands to your hips, come halfway up. Let the blood level out for just a moment. And then maybe 3/4 of the way, press equally into both feet. And then the rest of the way up. And just take a moment to feel. You can heel toe your feet back to center. Have your arms by your side and rest. And just get a sense of where the energy is going in the body. Does it feel like it's going up or down? Does the nervous system feel like it's active, or does it feel like it's calming down? One more breath here. Okay, so you may want to have 2 blocks handy nearby the front of your mat. We're moving into half splits. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold navel to spine. Take the right leg up in the air. Just have the foot level with the hip. And if you look at your back toes, they'll point straight down. So this is your warrior three with your fingers on the floor. And this is the position we want the hips to be in for the standing leg splits. So now lift that leg up and open it out to the side. So this is the position that we do when we're doing half moon 2. And we have a tendency when we do standing leg splits to bring our leg into this position because we can get it higher. So we're going to square the hip again, lift the inner thigh, and hold on to the back of the left calf with the left hand. Now, from here, see if you can lift that right leg a little higher. Just doesn't have to be much, just an inch or so. Breathe. Relax your shoulders, head, and neck. Try lifting that leg just another couple inches. Breathe. Watch the tendency for the hip to want to start popping open. Try one more time. Lift as high as you can, and then lower that foot down. Feet about hip distance apart. Soften into your forward fold. Good. Same thing here. So weight into your right foot. You're going to lift your left leg up in the air. And if you look at your toes, they point straight down. So again, this is your warrior three leg. And then open that hip up and notice the difference. You can get that leg a little higher. You're stacking left over right. This is what we do for half moon 2. Now bring that hip back into the squared position. So we're really familiar with the position that we want the leg to be in. And now just from there, can you lift it just a couple inches? Doesn't have to be much. You can wrap your right arm around your calf, hugging your chest closer to your thigh. And then see if you can lift it just another couple inches without opening those toes out to the side. Head and neck is soft. And then lift just a little higher. And then exhale, standing forward fold. One more breath here. Inhale to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. Chaturanga your way. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. From here, knees to floor, sit bones to heels, rest in child's pose. And keep your knees together here. Reach the fingers as far as they'll go, elbows stay lifted off the floor. Notice how the compression is there on the abdomen. Breathe into it. Send the pressure towards the back body. One more. And hands to hips. Roll yourself up to sitting tall on the heels and rest for just a moment. Let the blood level down. Let the breath find that smooth V-Samavriti. Okay, so we're going to take hips to the right and extend the legs out. Coming into a Janu Sirsasana. So left foot is straight, right foot to the inner thigh. Slight angle to the left leg. Inhale, the arms reach up. Rotate the navel over that left leg and then float down over the leg. And you can grab the calf, the ankle, the foot, whatever's most comfortable for you. If you can get the toes, great. If not, don't worry about it. Inhale, lean back with your chest. So again, it feels like monkey pose. Reposition so the navel feels more directly over the leg. And then exhale and melt down. So we're going to stay here, breathing deeply, inhaling, exhaling the same V-Samavriti, slowly increasing it by 1 count until we get to a true 1 to 2 breath. Keep counting in the mind. Feel the body surrendering with each longer exhale. Notice the sensitive areas. Breathe into them. Last breath here. And then we're going to take our left arm on the inside of the leg, either palm facing up, or if you have the flexibility, you can bend the elbow, press it into the calf, grab onto the big toe and hold there. And then we're going to inhale the right arm up and over the head. So lateral stretch. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend your elbow and twist your navel to the right. So your chest opens a little more. And do it again. Inhale, top arm lengthens over the head, full lateral stretch there. Exhale, bend the elbow, twist the navel to the right. Good. 3 more like that, please. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Really surrender, let go. 1 more. Now soften back over the leg, just as you were before, rotating the navel to the left, and then surrender in the fold. Good. Strengthen the arms in alignment with the ears. Press into the legs to come up. Take your right hand behind you, rotate open, and circle the left arm. So you're pushing into right foot, left foot, lifting hips off the floor and rotating the shoulder. And this is just, we did so much stretching of that back body. This gives a nice little compression or contraction there to remind those muscles to stay firm. And then just sit for a moment and feel. And then we'll do the other side. So right leg out, left foot to inner thigh. Rotate the flesh of the right leg in and down. Flex the right foot. Inhale the arms up, rotate the navel over that right thigh, and then bring the hands down. And wherever they land, so maybe calf, maybe ankle, maybe foot, or if you can grab the toes, great. Inhale, you're gonna lean back with your chest. Extend your heart as much as you can. So remember, forward bends are facilitated by that first initial extension. And then exhale over the leg. Head and neck is relaxed. Now I always find one side's tighter than the other, so just breathe into the difference. Notice where those sensitive areas are and take your attention there. Return back to that smooth Vinyasa breath, letting each exhale get longer and longer till you hit 1 to 2. Really slowing that breath down. Notice the nervous system calming as you do that. Good. On your last breath, you're going to come up slightly with the chest. Take your right arm on the inside of that leg, either palm facing up, or if you have the flexibility, you're going to grab the pad of the big toe. The elbow binds to the leg. Left arm lifts up. Inhale here. Top arm reaches over the head. Exhale. Bend the elbow and rotate your chest deeper to the left. Inhale. Getting a little longer, a little more space. Exhale. Squeeze, rotate to the left. Good. 3 more like that with your breath. One more. Now you're going to slowly release back over that front leg. So take your time, especially because it's deep. Rotate the navel back so you're squared over that leg again, and then soften down and notice any difference. Very nice. Slowly come up. Arms in alignment with the ears. Strengthen the back body. Lift and rise up. Take your left hand behind you. Press into the feet. Slowly lift the hips off the floor and rotate the arm. And this just, again, is going to bring some compression or contraction there into the back body. After all that deep stretching, you still want to remind it that it needs to stay strong and stable for you. And then gently release down and come back into seated position. Bring your right knee in. Take your left foot back behind you. So the right foot is to the inner thigh. The left foot is behind you, top of the foot down. So sometimes I think of this like cheerleader stance. Fingertips rotate to the right. Forward fold over that right leg. Bend the elbows and let your chest lean over the leg. Good, come back to center. Fingers in a finger stand, lean into center. Coming back up, maybe not as deep, lean to your left, bend the elbows, pull the abdomen in. Depending on where we hold our tension, we'll either feel a lot or maybe not so much. Good. Come back to center and switch. Left foot in, right foot back. So this left foot goes to that inner thigh. In that kind of cheerleader stance. Navel to the left, fingers in a finger stand. Bend the elbows and soften over the leg. Come back to center. Fingers in a finger stand. Soften and center. Come back up, over to the right. Maybe get a lot of space, maybe not so much. Breathe. Keep softening. Keep letting go. And then gently come back to center. Straighten both legs.
Feet flat, knees bent. Hold on to your shin bones and slowly pull your navel towards your spine, coming back onto your back body. Hug the knees into your chest for a moment, hands on top of the knees, fingers pointing towards the toes. Inhale, take the knees away from you, and exhale, bring them back towards your chest. So inhale, knees move away, hands stay soft on the knees. Exhale, knees back to chest. And as you continue this with your breath, feel that you're getting really heavy through the hips, so you get a nice massage there over that sacral bone. One more. Now legs are going to extend long to the floor. Thumbs go underneath the hips, arms down by your side. So forearms hug the side bodies. As the legs straighten, reach out through the balls of the feet and spread the toes. We're going to come into fish pose, but I want to do a couple lifts and lowers first, and then we'll go into it. So push into the legs. Inhale, lift the chest, bring the crown of the head to the earth, and then exhale and lower it down. Repeat that again. Inhale, lift through the sternum, puff up the chest, crown of the head to the earth, and exhale, lower it down. And then this time we're going to stay. So lifting through that sternum, puff up the chest, and now we're going to press through the feet, activate the legs, feel that whole front line opening up. After all that forward bending, it feels really good. One more here. And then release. Take a moment to just soften the arms. Take in that sensation. Spaciousness in the front body. Palms are flat, feet flat, knees bent. You can lightly touch your your heels with your fingertips. Press into both feet, roll up through the spine one vertebrae at a time into bridge. Exhale and roll down, lengthening the tailbone towards the heels as you come down. Inhale, roll up. Again, after all that stretching of the back line and those postural muscles, exhale down. We want to remind them to be strong and stable for us. Again, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. This last one here, if you can, will slide a block underneath the sacrum. So inhale up, come as high as you can on the balls of the feet. If you can get the block on the tallest edge, great. If not, middle and lower edge are fine. And then put it in a position where you feel really comfortable in your bridge pose, so you can extend your arms out wide, palms face up. And then anchor through your left foot. Take your right foot to your knee, and then just let gravity take that right knee open. So you can imagine a weight attached to the right knee, like it's an anchor sinking into the ocean. And then we'll switch and bring that right foot down, left foot on top of the knee. And again, grow heavy through the hip. So really feel like gravity is taking that open. Might feel some pull there up into psoas. And then bring that foot down, reposition your block so you feel really stable to take the legs up into Viparita Karani, modified Viparita Karani. So legs up in the air, reach up through the balls of the feet, spread the toes. Block is supporting the hips so arms can stay relaxed by your side.
spine long, so crown away from tailbone. And once again, return to the breathing that we've been doing throughout the practice and work on extending the exhale by 1 count till you get to that true 1 to 2 breath. Really establishing V-Samavriti. Make sure as you're breathing that pelvic floor is soft so the breath can move all the way to the base of the spine. And last 2. Again, notice the quality of the nervous system. And then you take one leg down and then the other. Release the block from underneath you. Slowly roll the spine down into the mat. And take your time to let the feet widen to a little bit wider than hip distance and the knees fall into one another, and just rest. And notice how closely connected the spine feels to the earth. That's a good sign that we've released some of the gripping in the back body. And then with the feet staying a little wider than the hips, now knees separated, like windshield wipers, we're going to take them first to the left and then to the right. And just have them go back and forth a couple times to the left and to the right. And I really like to just let gravity take them so there's momentum that's doing the action. I don't have to think about it so much. If you stay heavy through your hips, you can feel that little massage there for the top of the glutes. And then you could slowly walk your feet away from you, very, very slow at a time. You notice that as you shift forward, the position of the massage on the glutes changes to like mid-glute. Keep massaging, keep releasing. And you can wiggle the feet away a little further. Getting down into that coccyx and the tailbone. Keep walking away until you get to a point where there's just not much sensation anymore, and then you just extend your legs to the floor, arms down by your side, palms face up. So if you're in a cooler room, you might want to put sweaters and socks on, preparing for Shavasana. And if you're in a lighted room, it's really nice to have an eye pillow to block out the light. But once you settle in, feet are a little wider than hip distance apart, arms are down by your sides, palms face up. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you so the heart feels open. And once again, just notice how close the spine is to the earth. And the deep feeling of relaxation and calm in the body from so many forward bends. And then settle the breath so that you're no longer shaping it. Just let it be organic. Notice how the more you relax, the more your body finds the perfect rhythm.
Perfect rhythm of breath. Jaws relaxed, shoulders are soft. Let the eyes sink towards the back of the head. And as you really settle in, begin to notice that right in the area of the midbrain, there's a pinpoint of light. Slightly blue in color, arising out of the darkness like a star. And then notice in the center of the throat, same thing. A pinpoint of blue light rising out of the darkness. Center the right shoulder, pinpoint of light. Relax. Center the right elbow. Center the right wrist. Tip of the right thumb. Tip of the index. Tip of the middle, point of light. Tip of the fourth. Tip of the fifth. Center the right wrist. Right elbow. Right shoulder. Center the throat. Center of the left shoulder, point of light arising out of the darkness. Center of the left elbow. Center of the left wrist. Left thumb. Index. Middle. Fourth. Fifth. Center of the wrist, relax. Center of the left elbow. Left shoulder. Center of the throat. Heart center. Center the right chest. Heart center. Center the left chest. Heart center. . navel center. Keep relaxing. Pubic bone. Center the right hip. Right knee. Relax all effort. Right ankle. Tip of the big toe. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Right ankle. Right knee. Right hip. Pubic bone. Left hip. Left knee. Left ankle. Tip of the big toe. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Center of the ankle. Center of the knee. Center of the left hip. Pubic bone. Navel center. Heart center. Center of the throat. Center of the midbrain. Now see all points of light arising out of the darkness at the same time. Relax any more gripping you find in the body. Any other holding patterns. Body and mind fully surrendered into earth.
So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. As the breath comes back into the body, notice the cells awakening, enlivening, vibrating. And you can start to gently move your fingers, run your thumb across the fingertips. Gently move your toes. And place your hands on your abdomen and just connect to this body and this time and this space. And without rushing, gently draw your knees into your chest. And then roll over onto your right side into fetal, arm under the head as a pillow. And anchor the hand deeply into the earth. Head and neck stays heavy as you come back up into seated. Just cross-legged pose, or if you like that, Siddhasana. And bring one ankle into the perineum and place the other ankle on top, tucking the toes between the calf and thigh. Tall spine, relaxed body. Just notice how you feel. In a world that's moving quickly, taking the time to slow down and tap into the part of our nervous system that was meant for rest and digestion is one of the most healing things we can do, especially at this time. When we're used to going quickly, sometimes going slow feels like friction. Rather than, as my friend Sarah said, a healing balm. The healing balm that it should be. So bring your hands to your heart and bow your head to your hands. And just go back to the intention we set and trust that you took what you needed from the practice and you let the rest go. And then let's seal the practice with Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The Shanti meaning to be without disturbance. Peace, peace, peace. We'll start with Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this healing, nourishing practice. And please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And in the comments below is a link to my Patreon account. I would love any donation that you're willing to offer to keep these classes going. Namaste.